Yo,
Yo.
welcome back. Yeah, man. So, I always have in my conversation, I always ask my guests their trials and tribulation along the way. You know, like I said earlier, we try to tend to focus just the end results and not the process. You know,
Yeah.
and sure, along the way, there's a lot of things that you run across, and you're like, oh, damn. Like a lot of hiccups along the way. So if you can you share some of your, hiccups along the way in your journey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's funny, in certain ways, like, you don't have to look further back than this year for some things. And it's kind of wild because it's like a lot of us sort of have, a place where we're, noticed and we're getting a lot of these gigs and things like that. But sometimes that doesn't always mean things are going, like, great. And we're still dealing with a lot of shit. And it's like, some of it comes from money things, like you're doing work and people aren't paying you on time or whatever else. And a lot of that is, like, rough for us because we're doing gigs and we're doing them for different entities because we're contracted out to do them. And so it's like, there was a point in the summer where I was, like, working for, day in and day out to do this production for Red Bull stuff and all this other stuff. But I hadn't even been paid yet. And so I'm like, using homie favors and booking, like, I was able to get the drummer who drummed for Sharon Jones and Amy Winehouse and a lot of Daptone stuff. And he was like, someone who my homie hooked me up with that dude to be able to get him in the studio. But, like, that stuff comes at a price. But it was stuff that, it was work that I wanted to put in to make the final product of the Red Bull stuff really dope. And it's like, but I wasn't even paid at that point, and so it's just like, sometimes it's just crazy because we're at this certain level and you're still dealing with, like, not like little, like big money issues. And, I don't even know what the solution is to that, but it's just like, that's something that happened just this year. And I guess that's just to put it in perspective and not of like, woe is me, but just more like, that's what some of us are dealing with even at this level of shit. So, that was this year. But in general, on a larger scale, with not just money, it's like, at first you're, putting in a lot of work and trying to dig a lot and do things a certain way. And then I guess, like, I know Lean and Bless have rubbed, up against this thing of where you're putting in a lot of work. Maybe you already made some noise, whatever it is, and then you're trying to push things a little bit. You're like, where can I push the envelope? How can I, like, advance the sound, make some new shit that's, like, wild and new, the same way that people making up moves, when they were first making it up, they were wild and they were crazy and shit. But sometimes, like, that could go a little too far, or sometimes that could sort of be something that some of the elders in the hip-hop community don't really mess with. Like, they're like, okay, I guess it's okay, you're experimenting, but that's going a little bit too far. And I know that, like I said, for sure, me, Bless, and Lean have gotten that. And we also are sort of have the state of mind enough to maybe get annoyed a little bit at it, but then try and understand the perspective of those elders and respect them, and it's just like, sometimes, though, how people come at you when they're telling you your shit's whack, that's like a hard pill to swallow, and so I'd say that's one of the things that, starting out and trying to push things and make your own sound and whatever, that could end up, kind of making you feel kind of way, or just like fucking with you, like, so I shouldn't be creating new shit, I shouldn't be doing this or whatever. And it's just something that leaves you a little bit discombobulated until you wrap your head around, like, okay, let me try to, like, understand what they said, but then also, like, not follow it to a T. Follow it mostly, but still explore where I want to explore so that some of those new possibilities can come to light. Because you don't want to restrict yourself so much that you end up not creating at all. So that's like this weird balance, right? It's like, don't restrict yourself so much that you're not creating at all, but, you know, within there, try to push as much as possible. So it's just kind of a weird mental hurdle to get over. But definitely that was one thing, you know, along the way that I think a lot of us have dealt with. And then something else that's like a little bit more real, which I know that other people have mentioned on the show, is just like, you know, a lot of us, whether it's because we're artists and it's because of that reason, or whether it's because of the circumstances, you can just develop unhealthy habits, coping mechanisms, things like that. Like you could end up drinking or doing drugs or whatever else a lot because you're constantly in a position where like the spotlight's on you, where there's a lot of pressure on you. And I know, you know, for a fact that that's been a part of and probably made worse a lot of anxiety and depression issues in me and then in a lot of other people as well. I know a lot of, like, again, talking and knowing all of the DJs, and I know that some of them have spoken about it, some of them have not, but it's just like that's something that we all feel a good amount because there's just like such a rat race with all these events and all this other stuff, and then the pressure to do well and the pressure to come out with new shit and just all this shit, you know. And when you're dealing with that over years and years, like it has physiologic and mental effects. And, you know, that's also like something that I've been dealing with, you know, and a lot of us have dealt with the past few years more so than ever because, you know, breaking has kind of gone up, you know. But
just me sitting back, listening to that, it's like, and I'm sure hopefully people, when they tune in and watch this, wow, you know, that's the thing is, we tend to see like, oh, Fleg on the flyer and Lean Rock and, you know, and oh, they good, they flying here and there. But once you get into the minds of like yourself and it's like, yo, there's a lot of pressure. You know, like, yeah, me flying to all these events here, but yo, I'm getting anxiety, you know, before these big events. And I don't know my beats is gonna, you know, cater, you know, is it gonna cater and bring out the energy for these B-boys and if it's whack, they're gonna look at oh, everybody's gonna look at the DJ like, yo, whack. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So there is a lot of pressure. You know, for B-boy, like, hey, you fuck up, you take an L. All right, cool, and then you next jam. You know what I mean? But if a DJ fuck up, it's like, you know, like you only get one chance, right? Or no chance.
Yeah. And I've definitely been there as the one to, you know, fuck up and whatever, because I'm definitely, you know, not perfect. And then there are times maybe you're not on your A game or whatever, you know, but for whatever reason, that shit has happened to me too. And then that takes like it's like there's enough pressure already. But then if I do fuck up or have something happen, like, bro, like I take it really, really hard. And I'm like, I kind of don't want to be put back in that situation again, you know? So it's just like, it's a lot of pressure. And like I said, it was funny because I heard that the other day about like, you know, people that are in high pressure, high stress situations a lot develop more like anxiety disorders and depression and things like that. And when I heard it, I never like, I always knew that was a portion of it. Some of it is all the traveling and other things like that. But I never, for whatever reason, exactly put the two and two together. Like I mostly did, but it's just like, oh shit, there's a reason why like all my other homies that do this, like we kind of express similar things in regards to this about how we're feeling because we're all in the same boat and we've all just been like zapped, you know, from overload of so many events, all the pressure that is put on us, you know, whether you do good or you fuck up or whatever, no matter what, it's just like a lot right here. And, you know, inevitably that creates problems, you know. And so I know I don't speak just for myself, I speak for a lot of us, again, DJs that feel that pretty heavy. You know, a lot of the time. Put it that way. Unless we got like a 3 month, we're feeling that.
Damn. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, see, I mean, I know you guys was getting, get a lot of pressure, but I didn't know it was like, everybody get the same type of symptoms, right? like Lane told me, with the anxiety issue that he has, and then now, you and I wonder if there's other DJs that's feeling like this as well,
I know there are. I know for a fact there are. Yeah.
Man.
And some of the times, like, there were times I realized that I was definitely, covering that up with just drinking a lot and whatever. And it was like I didn't even realize it until I was doing it, and then until like I tried to like kind of chill out on a little bit, which luckily I have enough like self control and just like ability to sort of like be like, oh shit, I am doing that. Let me back up a little bit and recognize what I'm doing if it's unhealthy as like a coping mechanism or whatever. But then especially when you stop doing it as much, you realize how much is really there, like how much, different feelings and not good ones are all there, and that you were just covering all that shit up, and and I think that like for Lean, especially because it's not like I'm completely sober, I'm not, so I still probably use that some of the times, but I've chilled out a bit. But for Lean, going from like that end of things to completely sober, I know that like that's just like a boom, it can kind of hit you in the head, and it's like I said, it's a bunch of us, not just me and him, that are dealing with that. So it's just important to put it out there that
Yeah. I mean that's something we all need to hear, because sometimes we take things for granted, and we see Fleg, he's DJing Rebel Beast 1, but is he okay? Have you ever, stop him like, hey, you all right? How you doing? And that's the thing, like, you feel like, you guys don't get that, right? Of all the work you guys put in, it's like, okay, DJ Fleg, cool, all right, cool. He'll play us beat. All right, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? As long as he play us beats that get us hype, cool. He's in a good hand. But once he start playing songs, he's like, oh, get him away from here. You know what I mean? And I get what your mindset is like. Like, dude, like, man, don't treat me as just some dude that's play you guys good beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, really appreciate and my voice count as well. So I feel you, man. I mean, look, at the end of the day, bro, my advice would be, just come back to that purpose, bro, and know that there's people like us, like myself, like MZK, or the people that's culturally educated, what have you. Like we appreciate cats like you. You know what I mean? So those are the people that sometimes you feel like you're down. It's like, all right, I gotta pick it up. I gotta, because these cats, appreciate me. You know what I mean? And so those are the times that you gotta just sit back and like, okay, as long as you got the right people that appreciate you, man, just keep going, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all you have to know, man. And even if it's some of us that appreciate you, that's who you're doing it for,
For sure. And I see that more and more, and I appreciate, like, you guys or local homies that I know. It's like, they like to break, but they also, like, love music. They're also, like, deep into a lot of this shit for more reasons than just, like, they want to do a freeze or whatever. It's like they really love music. They really want to, like, when it speaks to them, they want to move this certain way, but it's just like that level of understanding. Those are the people that I really connect with, and they help me kind of stay sane in the sea of others that are just like, they'll go to a battle, but they won't go to like a just dope DJ night or dope concert or whatever. Like, and there's a lot of that. And so, yeah, you know, you all do keep us sane in general. And like a lot of it for me is the American scene, you know, helps keep me a little bit sane. And dope events, when people throw dope events with the sort of scene and with that sort of stuff in mind, that's what gives me hope. Like, yeah, like that shit felt amazing. Like that stuff. And then I leave with that. That's like more or less what I would like to do, you know, exclusively. Like I could not DJ another single big battle, and that wouldn't hurt me, you know, at all. I would just be like, cool, I don't got to do that anymore. All right, you know. And sometimes I want to do it, I guess, you know, just to see the homies overseas, and some of them do have a dope vibe in their scene, so it's not everywhere, but it's just like I really, really like a dope small jam where everyone is vibing and everyone is on the same tip musically and everything else. Like if you were there for the breakdance, like don't come. Yeah, I don't need you. Like, you know, come there for a full hip hop experience, and then like we're gonna have a fucking blast, you know. And that's like, you know, actually sort of a segue into you know, the jam that I throw. So it's the second one I'm gonna do. It's called King of What in Baltimore, and it's coming up again January 26th. And at that jam, like I was saying before, it was like all cypher prelims. I had local MCs rhyming while Scheme was on the ones and twos, like playing instrumentals for the prelims. That was the prelims. And again, it's sort of just this idea like all of this shit is not separate. If you like a part of this culture, then you should like all of it. And it's like hip hop, the music, that's all the vibe that I'm going for at that jam, and just to like sort of bring in the heads. And like I said, if people don't understand that, like, cool, you don't have to come, because the ones who do are going to come through and they're going to support and they're going to love it, and that's going to give me that feeling. So ultimately, you know, that's part of like, you know, something of what I wanted to say in general on this is that, like, you know, I'm not at all against the bigger competitions, and I'm not at all against like people making a living and really trying to professionalize this. Like I heard what Zeku was saying, and it's true. It's like, you know, professionally, if you're at that level, you know, you have to just like fucking do things right, like come across right, present yourself right, try to grow this thing so those people can make their money, do what they love, etc. But on the other side of things, and these aren't mutually exclusive, which is the important part, we can have that, but then the small jams got to be dope. Like, there's no excuse for throwing a whack small jam. Like, it's small. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have big logistics to worry about. You don't have to worry about a lot of things. Like, you know, all you have to do is take the dope energy from your scene and let it thrive. And you do that by picking a dope venue, by keeping the battles like there, but like, you know, relatively short so people can just cypher and vibe. And then, you know, picking a dope DJ that knows sort of all the different levels of like, okay, this is some battle music, but now here's hip hop, now here's this or whatever. Like, it's really not that hard. And that's actually the thing where I feel like for the younger promoters and for, you know, people coming up, they could really, really help their scenes, not by trying to throw the equivalent of a BC1 or something like that. Like, that's already being done. Like, be that rock for your scene and hold them down and really come with it correct, so you bring them up the right way. But honestly, it's not even on that deep of a scale. It's so that motherfuckers have fun, because that's what this is about. That's what the whole thing's about. And it's just like, you know, I really feel like I'm not even saying like, you know, people are doing a terrible job. Some people are doing dope, but I'm just saying like everyone, like, step that game up. Like, make that dope. Make those small jams ill, because coming back to the original point, that's what I love the most. I've traveled everywhere, and I realize like I love that shit the most. And that they always have the best vibe. Is always the illest. And so it's just like, just do that. Like, that, recognize that gem, and then, you know, really move forward in a way that recognizes that like that is like the center of our scene. Like BC1, the big competition, that's not the center. People sort of think of it as like, you know, right now, but smaller events, community workshops, whatever it might be, how people vibe in their communities, which is where they are the majority of the time, that's like the center of the scene. So, you know, I just hope that things like this can help bring out a little bit of that in the people of their scene to inspire them a little bit to be like, you know what, this might be a small jam, but oh shit, like Fleg said that's his favorite, like that's the most important. Wow, like I feel like, you know, maybe if other people start to say the same thing I'm saying too, that they'll sort of understand like that is its own power and it's beautiful. So like harness it, you know?
Yeah, and I think we need to show more of that vibe, you know. If you throw in a small jam, have somebody document your jam, you know, and push out visuals about your jam with that vibe. You know what I'm saying? With the vibe, and that's what I'm saying. New generation, they come into the game, they only see one side, you know, of what's being pushed, you know, and you know, a lot of events is just, you know, just showing, you know, the competition aspect, what have you. So I don't know. If you're a promoter, you throw small jams, what have you, then try to get a cameraman or at least some type of visual of your jam and show that vibe. You know what I mean? And once the more we as community focus on that, right? The more just imagine visual of every small jam there is and showing the vibe and everybody's just pushing out these visuals. I'm sure you know, eventually, you know, the new generation is gonna come in like, wow, I wanna create that vibe. I wanna create that vibe in my city. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a visual, man. That's what it is. Is you know, the game right now is kind of, you know, they just see the competition aspect, you know, and that's always being pushed. But they don't see just the vibe aspect, you know, the visual of the vibes, you know. And so I think we collectively, I'm not just talking about me, myself, you know, or you. I'm talking about collectively here. And maybe you got to start with the U.S., you know. If you're promoters, small promoters out there, or you know promoters like, yo, you know, or your jam, yo, show the visual of your jam, bro. Like that vibe, and the more we share, you know, and that's another thing is we got to share each other's shit. You know what I'm saying? That's what's it's DJ Fleg shit. I'm gonna share his shit. Like, no, I'm gonna share his shit. Oh, damn, that jam that DJ Fleg threw, damn, that vibe. Yo, I'm gonna share that joint. You know? Yeah. We just gotta do it as a collectively, man, and that's how we're gonna change. That's how we're gonna move culture, man. But if not, then you know it's the same old, same old. So I guess it's just, you know, actions speak louder than words, right? Yeah. And for me, that's why, you know, with MZK, as you can see, a lot of the visual is showing the traditional aspect, the culture as well. You know what I mean? Yeah, we go to big battles and stuff, but we still kind of balance it out with the visuals of, yo, this is the culture aspect. You know what it is. You know what I mean? And so I feel like that's my responsibility as somebody that's come up in the game and know the right route. And, you know, yeah, I can show MZK battle at the big events, but I'm going to show cats about, you know, the cultural side of it as well. You know what I mean? And that vibe and how that crew vibe is supposed to be and all that, you know? So, I don't know, man. Visuals just, you know, is a very important, man. So I remember when coming up, you know, I would see Rocksteady crew, you know, making DVDs of their jams and stuff, and the vibe be right, you know, or B-Boy Summit, the vibe be right, you know what I mean? And those are the visuals that I was coming up like, okay, that's how it's supposed to be, you know? So, yeah, man, I just feel like all of us gotta step up the game with the visuals, you know? So your jam coming up in January, yo, show us that vibe, bro. We need to see it, you know, and for somebody like me, you know, to share that joint, you know, and other people as well within our community. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, funny you mentioned that because I I actually already have some footage that I was meaning to make into a trailer, like an after trailer, and I didn't do it, but I do have it. So that's actually, like, I already had it in my mind, but you're reminding me, that's about to come out, and it'll give you a little bit of a taste of like what that felt like, and it was dope. It was a lot of fun. So, thanks for reminding me, but I will definitely send you that joint when it's made in like a couple weeks, because it's going to be, it's definitely going to highlight a little bit of what it felt like there. And then after that, like hopefully that can help, convince some people like, oh shit, this does look like it's pretty ill. Let me come through to it this next time. And actually your boy Prevail is helping me out with the flyer and stuff. So he's been mad, cool, mad dope to like help me out with that and shit. So we're, you guys you're a part of the visuals.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's the thing for us. We try to support, on the battlefield, we might be assholes. You know what I'm saying? We some warriors, But man, outside of the battle game, bro, people just don't know how much support we have and try to help others and not brag about it. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And, we don't brag about, oh, we did this. No, we do. We support people all the time, And so, that's our position is, we gotta support each other and just lead by example, So, Fleg, keep doing your thing, bro, and don't get discouraged, man. You got people out there like myself, appreciate cats like you and all the DJs, and I don't think y'all the back burner. I think y'all like the main ones that set the tone, every time. When I walk into a jam, that's when I know, like, yo, this is official. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm walking to a jam about to pay my joint at the door and I'm hearing that music, and that's, you start getting the feel, and that's like, yo, the first thing I ask is, yo, who's on the DJ? Who's DJing right now? Instead of like, what beat is this? The first thing I'll ask, like, yo, who's DJing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's the main thing. That's the difference, right? And most nowadays people ask, what's the beat? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the name? But for me, when I was coming up, it's like, yo, who's the DJ? Who's DJing right now? You know what I'm trying to say? And so, man, but keep doing your thing, bro. I appreciate your time being on here, and I'll share this on my IG story, and after that, share on YouTube, so hopefully others can tune in. But man, thanks for the conversation, bro.
Yeah, man, likewise. And I appreciate you like having me to just talk about a few things. And like I said, just like the vibe and how you guys represent shit as well, from our crew to yours it's like, we appreciate that shit. So
no doubt.
As well. And it's all love. It's much love, man. I'm sure that we'll catch you soon at a jam. I'll bother you about this upcoming thing that I'm doing as well.
Yeah.
Come through, so we'll see if you're able to come through. But yeah, man, thanks again and much love for having me on just to talk about it for a sec.
No doubt, Fleg. Anytime, man. Keep doing your thing. Yo, shouts to everybody that's joined. And talk to you soon, bro. All right?
Peace, bro.
All right, peace.